Welcome back to my channel. This is my second YouTube video and I decided to come to you today with my signature glam. I thought what a better way to do my second little intro into YouTube than to do my signature look. So I'm basically going to talk you through it as I'm doing it. I come barefaced. I have my lip balm on and I have my SPF and my moisturizers from earlier. I'm actually going to start off with a couple of things I already spoke about in my last YouTube video, and it's the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I'm gonna have to tuck these behind my ear. What am I gonna do with these bits then? Didn't really think that through, did I? Didn't think it through. We're gonna pull them back like this and I'm just gonna look like a man. It's fine. So this is the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter, and I always put it kind of like in these areas. I said it to you before, but I do like a glowy face. This is the shade 3.5. I just love, like you'll see now, the little bit of coverage that it gives. So nice alone, even if you just don't want to wear anything else. And I'm using this brush. It's from Naked Sundays. It doesn't have a number on it. You can just do this with your hands. You don't need to use a brush. Use my Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation, shade 15N. One thing I love about the shades from Makeup by Mario is they are quite like adaptable. There's been no sun in England at all. I'm usually back and forth from Dubai. Haven't been back since December. Gives a really nice coverage. It's very buttery, the texture of this. I've been really enjoying it on clients as well, and it's working really, really well. I went to the gym earlier and my legs are so tight that like sitting down is hurting. God. The Makeup by Mario concealer, shade 280. I like the combination together. Obviously it works really well with the actual foundation. I've been using it with anything at the moment. It's working quite well on top of a lot of products, so we are rolling with it. Those of you that might not know much about me, I did introduce myself slightly in the previous video. I am a freelance professional makeup artist and I've been doing it for like 15-16 years, and I do it pretty much full time. I travel all around the UK, also travel to Dubai to work through the winters quite often. One of my biggest pet hates, guys, and a few of you will notice, is I really don't like concealer all over my eyelid. I just hate that look. I'm gonna take that off myself because I can't bear it. I know I'm gonna put eyeshadow on and it's not gonna make any difference, but that is just way too much concealer on my lid for myself. On the brow bone, I conceal these areas. It actually gives a much softer, more natural look to makeup, and I know everybody's different because it creates like a really clear base if you put like a neutral base on the lid, but for me and the way I work and the way I like things, I just prefer to keep it. Already raved about this Prada brush. It's the 04 concealer buffer brush and I really, really love it at the moment. Also didn't mention that this foundation brush is the Vive 117. Changed up recently my next step, and it's been to contour, and I really contour like everything. It's been something I'm really enjoying doing on myself, and I've recently added it into doing on clients as well. So I'm using the shade Deep Sand. This is the original Shape Tape concealer, so it's not the radiant one or the creamy one. You can see how it just blends so easily into the skin. So I'm actually going to put a few dots here and here. So I do it more as like a bronzy contour. I quite like a warm contour that kind of just bronzes up, and I feel like most people do that anyway now. Up into the cheekbones, I don't like it to be too harsh at all. The next stages are literally the bits that I find dramatically change my face, and I feel like they can really give quite like an amazing depth to the skin. So I always have to contour my nose. I just feel like if you're contouring everywhere else and you don't contour the center of your face, it can look so flat and bland in the center. I look so funny right now, but just wait, okay? And then I like to go under the lip and over the lip. Something I've been really loving is contouring right into the inner nose and brow, and I just use this Tropic brush to fizzle out all the edges, so this will end up looking like just a really nice kind of caramelly eyeshadow. Right into the inner brow. this can take some practice. It's just what I've been really enjoying doing on myself lately, and I've implemented it on a few clients that I feel will really suit it, and it's just looking so stunning. It just gives like this sultriness when you get the eyeshadows on top. This is the Tropic EB6 Expert Blending Brush, and I find it amazing for doing the contour with the one side. It's like a little angled fluff, and then the other side I like to do all my eyeshadow with as well. Everybody likes to contour their nose in a different way. I like to slim it down, but then also try and lift it slightly. I'll do all of this, like blend out the concealer, and then I'll go back in with my other concealer brush to just kind of like bring it back together. And we're just gonna blend out, there's an aeroplane going over my house. Blend out this lip contour. This was actually something that I saw on Harushi's YouTube channel when she did JLo's makeup. She like came back with some tips and it was really interesting. So yeah, really loving a little bit of concealer around the lips, which looks mad right now. I will blend this in. Just using my Prada concealer brush to bring that back in so it doesn't look as dark around the edges. Just a little under the eye. I'm using my Prada 05 brush just to blend underneath. I like quite like a fluffy but slightly flatter brush, so you can see like I wouldn't use this for my crease so much. I just love it for the under eye. I'm just gonna go into my brows using this little NYX brow glue recently. This is the shade dark brown. I just actually find this really affordable and really easy for every day. Like it actually works really well. I'm gonna use my Maybelline Ultra Slim Eyebrow Pencil medium brown. I actually don't like using a shade that's too dark for my brows. I actually like to go like a shade lighter than what my brows are. Just gives a little bit more depth and doesn't look as like harsh. You just add a few brush strokes, a little definition underneath the brow as well. Really enjoying like having my more affordable products lately. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for like high-end makeup. Like my kit and everything around me is pretty much high-end just because the quality, especially in foundations, is amazing. But these little things that you kind of like use daily and sometimes you don't want to overspend, I'm quite enjoying having these. Final touch to the brow, because I really like to add texture to the brows, is my NYX brow tint pen. This is the shade Ash Brown, and I will literally just give it some depth by adding in some extra brow hairs. And then I'll just do a few on this inner section as well. You just want to use really light pressure. Do not press hard with these because then you'll just get like blobs of dark on your skin. Okay, we are gonna go into the eyes now. I use my absolute go-to by Makeup by Mario again. A few of these products are gonna be by him because I love. This is the shade Medium Dark in the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. I really love anything on my eye to start with this bronzer. I'm literally just gonna sweep through my crease. I quite like it going quite high up. And again, I'm gonna use it, quite a lot of it, in this inner part of my brow. It's literally been my go-to lately. Just makes me feel like that little bit more glam. I'm using the Prada brush again with the bronzer just to go right under the eye. For those of you that have like known and followed me for a long time, you'll know how much I love like a little bit of a smoke to the bottom lash line. I find it just brings out the eyes. And also if you struggle with under eye creasing with your concealer, this is like the life savior. I just fill in that whole area. I don't mind that on myself. Some people find it really weird to see themselves like it, but it's like my ultimate go-to. Next on the eyes, I'm going to use my very loved Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. And I just like to mix like all of these kind of mid-tones to give some more depth to the eyes. So I'm just going to go back into the crease. Can anyone hear that? That doesn't sound good. That's like wolves. I'm using the same shades from the Mario palette just to add a little bit more depth on the under eye. Gonna lift the whole look by basically sharpening up the edges of my eye makeup. So we're just gonna use a little bit of concealer on both edges. Blend that out with a small concealer brush. It's a really nice way to clean up and lift the whole look before I do anything else. So I'm gonna press these shades into the eyelid as well so that I've got a nice matte base. I've just created a little wing on the outer edge, which has been my absolute favorite go-to to just bring out my eye shape. What I like to do is basically create this wing by lifting my eye before it actually reaches the end of my eye, and then creating like a V shape at the end of my eye. So it'll give the illusion that my eye is more lifted, and then I basically use this little Zoeva 237 detail shader to blend that out. So it's a really nice way to do a wing without actually having to use a liquid liner. Can add in the deeper shades from the eyeshadow palette and just press them in so that it becomes a really nice soft blended out liner. I'm gonna do my mascara. This is my go-to. This is the Sweed Pro Lash Lift Mascara, and it's got a comb. It's like just a one-sided comb. So weird how we have like one eye that always goes better than the other. They always say that it's better to do the eye that you find harder first. If you're ever doing liner on yourself and you like struggle to do your liner, do the liner on the eye that you struggle with more first, so then it's easier to match the eye that you find easier to the other eye. I don't know if I've actually come out with any tips when doing this. I've been interrupted so many times whilst doing this that I'm just like, okay, let's pray for the best at this point. I like to just go back into the under eye with a bit more concealer and refresh that area. I think one of the biggest things that we all do with ourselves is just rush into just whacking things on. And this doesn't, you know, once you get the hang of doing things on yourself, it never takes as long. But if I was like rushing to get ready to go out, I wouldn't necessarily do the 2 layers of concealer. I'd probably just whack it on and leave. But this is like when I've got the time to get ready. One thing I am really weird about is that I have to put my lip liner on at a really weird stage because I can't bear seeing my face without lip liner. And you'll probably understand because you see how much of a difference it makes to my face. So I basically like to overline my lips and go into the area where you kind of feel a little dip, like you have almost like a white line between your lip and your skin. Now that I've got a little bit of lip liner on to make me feel more normal, we're gonna get some colour on the face. Before doing any more bronzing, I'm gonna use my amazing trusty Charlotte Tilbury Beauty ones. I actually love the e.l.f. dupes for these as well. I'm using the shade Peach Gasm, and I like to put a little bit on my nose as well, and I'm just gonna dab that in. This works as a kind of like highlighter more so. It's a very soft blush shade. Obviously on someone who's fairer skinned, it would be like the ideal natural blush, but I like to go over this with a stronger shade. Blend that into the nose so it kind of blends in the contour as well. Just gonna soften this eye because it's looking really weird and strong, so I like to just go in with a concealer brush to soften it up a little. I think that looks a bit better. I decided to try out the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, and I also bought one of the powder blushes in the shade Joy. This is the shade Virtue, but I thought, let's see how this looks. I got little mini ones because how handy before you actually like buy the full thing. This shade is quite like terracotta-y. It's quite warm. Oh, I like that. I just thought I'd add it on top to give a little bit of... That's a really nice soft colour actually. This is well and truly loved. This is the Refy cream bronzer in the shade Tan. But I really love the warmth of this for my cheeks. So I kind of use it as like a bronzer blusher on my cheeks. And a lot of the time I won't use powder over this because I like the glow that it gives. I always like to bring bronzer into my temples and a little bit around my jawline. I'm gonna try the Rare Beauty blusher in the shade Joy. Honestly feels amazing and I'm so excited to try it on my cheeks. Oh my lord. It's got a goldy undertone. This reminds me of one of my old school favourite blushers called Style from MAC. Oh my lord, I love it. What an amazing blusher shade. Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm going to put a bit on my nose. This is my all-time favourite highlighter. This is MAC Cream Colour Base in the shade Hush. I really hope they don't discontinue this because it's literally like one of my all-time favourite highlighters that I use on everyone. It just gives like the most natural glow. It's not like a glow from a highlighter. It literally ends up looking like just your skin is glowing. Same powder I showed you. This is the Bperfect Miss KDA collaboration and this is the shade Vanilla. Like I said, I'm not a huge lover of too much powder. Just gonna dust this under the eyes. I like to follow the line where I've concealed and go right into where I've contoured the nose as well. When you powder for camera, this is what makes the ultimate difference. I never used to use much powder on anyone. Like, I think I'd avoid it at all costs, but for photography, for staying power, if you want to look literally like flawless throughout your wedding day or for your birthday night out or whatever, this is the key to looking flawless all night. Let's finish up with the lip. So I'm now going to go in with Spice Chai, so a deeper shade in lip liner. My favourite Huda Beauty Honey Lip Gloss. Combine that with Sugar Baby. Add in my beauty spots that I like to do with Freck. This is the darker shade of Freck. If you haven't heard of Freck, it's basically something you can create faux freckles with and it is amazing, but I would suggest getting the black tube, which is the lighter shade, because this one's so dark it like stains and yeah, it can just look quite harsh, whereas it's perfect for creating like beauty spots like this. Set it all in with my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Oh, I literally love this setting spray so much. It really does work. This is the final look. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've picked up something from it, whether that's a trick or whether there's a new product that you want to try. Please do comment below and let me know if there's anything you want to see next time or if you have any questions for me. And I'm really going to have to get in the flow of saying, but don't forget to like and subscribe and I'll see you next time.